Hi, this is Laurie Miggins, and this is Real Life with Laurie. Today I have Lana Burnley. Burnley, is that right? Burnley?
Burnley, yes.
Burnley, awesome. She is this incredible lady that I met, last Christmas, I guess it was.
Yeah.
And she gave this amazing presentation um, about what she had gone through, the challenges, and how she inspired and overcome. And like, I think pretty much like if not at least 80% of the room was in tears or just moved and just sitting on like the edge of our chairs wanting more by your presentation and the amount of stuff that you've gone through plus the successes and the achievements you've had. It's just, you hear that in like 5 lifetimes versus the one that you've led. So I'm really, really excited to have you on the show to be able to talk about you, learn some of the challenges that you want to talk about, as well as just the things that you've done to overcome,
Oh,
and giving our daily tip as usual. So if you don't mind, I'd like to explain a little bit about you and why you're so awesome.
oh, thank you, Laurie. That is so sweet. Sure, let's do it.
All right, so Lana comes from Lana. It's whoa, I'm trying to read your bio and I'm not doing so good. She comes from a family, born into a family of being the eldest of 4 children in a military family. She learned at an early age never to follow the status quo, and her parents instilled her with an insatiable drive, great work ethic, and never to settle for mediocrity. After excelling after high school, she joined the military to discovered an inner strength. She later completed her computer science studies, followed the master's into the systems development, and over the years of boredom, went back to school for cognitive psychology. After some life changes, she followed her dreams to get into her pilot's license, and then got her real estate license, where she could help families make one of the biggest decisions in their lives. Now she's continued to follow her dreams into living a life in the country, helping families through transitions in their lives. She doesn't just sell real estate or air bond, she changes lives. She's Lana Burnley, the Hope Giver. That is an incredible, incredible bio, and it explains you perfectly. So,
Thank you.
Lana, you have gone through a ton, and because I've heard you speak a couple times, I know what some of the challenges are. But would you like to explain some of your challenges that you've had in your life that have made you change and pivot your life and make you who you are?
Oh, certainly, Laurie. It's been a journey, right? And that's what life is.
Of course.
At the age of 35, I found a lump, and 36, a couple of months later, and it took a while for them to diagnose my first round of breast cancer. And by the time they had diagnosed it, it was locally advanced. So it actually started going from my breast into my pectoral muscle of my chest. So it had started advancing. And because of that, I ended up going through chemotherapy first, and then surgery, and then radiation. And that sort of changed the whole projection of my life, because I was in a typical but boring job for the late 80s, early 90s. When was this? Oh no, this was 1999. That's right. I was in Y2K projects.
Oh dear.
For those of you watching, yeah, I remember those, the Y2K stuff.
Mhm.
And that led me into something that I really wanted to do, and that was help families on a more direct basis. And that led me to become a real estate agent, in which I've been an award winner ever since I started this business. And then about 10 years later, almost, when I was being discharged from the cancer center, they discovered cancer again in the same
Wow.
breast. Yeah. Excuse me. And what had happened was that they only did a partial mastectomy in that breast, and rather than taking off the full breast, and they discovered cancer again just after almost being, like I said, discharged from the cancer center. And so I started going through the same treatments again, unfortunately, because I'd had my lifetime dosage of radiation when I was 36. I could never have radiation again, and they had pounded me good with chemotherapy too back then. Have you ever noticed that when you're bald, your head is shiny. It's really shiny.
Oh,
no, it's true.
That's your personality, very shiny.
That's true. But the thing is too, you have to look at the good side of this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I had a full mastectomy, and then I had chemotherapy again, which gave me my shiny bald head again. But I took this opportunity to become the blonde I always wanted to be.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had a blonde wig, I had a redhead wig, I had a big fluffy, what they call it, a country music wig. And I took that opportunity to do something a little bit different, and that was become the blonde or become the redhead, whichever. There was one point where I was wearing my blonde wig, and this was just before my chemotherapy had started for the second time, and my father didn't recognize me. When I was wearing it was so cute. Anyway, and I digress there. And so I went through the treatments again 10 years later, and I decided, for some reason, you know, when you get that sense saying you have to do this, I got the sense saying I had to take off, I should take off the other breast, like do a prophylactic mastectomy. And that was a year later. And when the biopsy came back from that breast, they said, oh yeah, well, you have the start of microcalcification and hyperplasia, which was the start of the cancer that I had the first time was hyperplasia and microcalcification the second time.
Wow.
What? If I had not followed through in my hunch or that gut feeling that moms seem to have really well, they're really good at that. Mm-hmm. I would have had cancer for the third time in my other breast.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I've been married at this time. I was married the first time. Unfortunately, my first husband hung himself, and then I ended up getting married a second time. And it's still, though, you have to keep going. Mm-hmm. Right? When you have found your purpose, when you have a reason to live, you just keep on going. You have to. You have no choice.
It's a lot of tragedy to go through.
Yeah, it really does hit you hard when you're going through that. And it makes you either fall down and stay down, or you get up. And when you have a purpose in life, and that's one of the reasons why I continue doing what I'm doing, is because I want others to know that there's hope. You can still survive no matter how much you get pounded in the head with a brick again and again. And I look at this as being a tap on the shoulder from the universe saying, wake up. Like, you got a second chance here. Do what you're supposed to be doing. Be the positive person you're supposed to be. Be the person you are meant to be. If you've got this gut feeling knowing I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, I don't like what I'm doing, then listen to it. Mm-hmm. No reason why you should be doing what you're doing when you're supposed to be doing something else. Yeah. Maybe it's the hobby you're doing on the side, for an example, Arbonne or Isogenics on the side, but you're supposed to be doing that full time because you're giving hope to people. Mm-hmm. You're giving a better life to people. You're giving a better body. And when you feel good on the inside, you're good on the outside, right? Mm-hmm. Something I did too was that when I was going through my treatments, I got up and I put on makeup and I put on a wig, and I wouldn't leave my room, my bedroom or my bathroom without feeling good and looking good on the outside. Because when I looked good on the outside and I looked in the mirror, I knew that I said, okay, I look good today, so I can go out and I can feel good. And it's a very subtle but true psychological advantage you have when you actually put on a little bit of makeup. And because of that, that's why I decided to go get my certified makeup license as a makeup artist, so that I can help other people just bring out that inner glow that they might have hidden. Because we all have gorgeous eyes, and we all know that the eyes are the window to our soul, right? Just make them pop a little bit more, give them a little bit of color. Bob's your uncle.
that's interesting how something in your, like, during a challenging time in your life brought out like a new love and a new change, and brought in like a new skill set even. So you took the challenge and made it an opportunity for yourself.
That's right. That's exactly it. I took the challenge, and this way I can offer a bit more hope, or give a bit more hope to others, no matter what they're doing, whether they're going out to a prom or whether they've never used makeup before, or I can show people that they can actually own a home no matter what, even during COVID-19.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. It's true. Yes, it's possible. And you can sell your home during these times too. And actually, this is just an aside. This is a really good time to sell because nobody else has got their house on the market. Anyway.
And you were just telling me too that, that you were working with you and your assistant yesterday. We were talking about Instagram and how much you're online now and that you're virtual, and that a lot of people don't know that. And so this is like a great time for you to be out and like helping people and pouring into them and giving them that hope that there is opportunity for them to, make that big transition in their lives and make the change into a new home.
Exactly. Because even though our environment has changed, our community has changed, our life has changed so much in the past month and a half, right? The past 6 weeks.
Very much so.
It's okay. We just change what we're doing a little bit, tweak it a little bit, and show others that there is a way to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. We just do it a little bit differently.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just like 9/11, right? Remember 9/11, September 11th, 2001, changed how we travel now, mm-hmm. right? We are going through the rigmarole to travel. We need passports to get down to the United States, which is like, on the other side of the street, basically. But now it's the same way with doing business. We're shopping mm-hmm. online. You can even buy a house online if we have to do it that way.
Yeah. It comes to as we go through different changes in our lives, we evolve as a society and as a human, and as long as we're willing to adapt and stuff. I mean, that's one of my personal growth things is that adaptability is really hard for me. If I find out something right at the moment, I have to adapt really quickly. With my anxiety, last night on my Toastmasters, for instance, they're like, "Here, you're gonna be doing this role." I'm like, "I didn't sign up for that." And then, thankfully, my friend, he's like, "I know what's going on. She's going crazy on me. She's going crazy here." He was able to step in, but but that is part of the human experience, is that you have to learn how to adapt and stuff. And that's exactly what you're saying, is that if we don't, right. It's a good thing. I mean, as much as we hinder against it, the adaptability and change always brings us to a new evolution and learning something, a new experience. And it might be challenging at the time, but overall it ends up being begins to be a better opportunity.
Laurie, I've got a secret for you. And everybody watching?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to die with change.
Really?
It's true.
Well,
yeah. It's true. It's just doing something different. And guess what? You're going to fail too.
Failing forward is the best way to fail. I love failing. And that's
no kidding. I was doing a little Zoom meeting this morning with my company, mm-hmm. and I swore because of my microphone was unmuted. Everybody got a great laugh out of it though. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's sort of, that's just, I can't say that out loud.
Was that the F-bomb I said?
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things that we're teaching my daughter right now, is about failing forward, because she's learning how to type and she gets so frustrated trying to learn how to type properly in the right hand position. She's like, "This is difficult." I'm like, "Exactly, but you're not supposed to." She has these little games and I'm like, "You're not supposed to pass the first 10 times. You're just supposed to experience and practice." And she's like, "Oh," because she's very competitive. She gets that from her father, not from me. She's very competitive, so she was like, she gets super frustrated with it. And I'm like, and by the 10th or 11th time, she's like, "Oh, I passed." And then she gets, goes on to the next one. So
perfect.
It's a huge life lesson that I think that everybody needs to know, that you don't have to be perfect at what you do. And the people that are, great at what they do and the most successful at what they do, the amount of times they failed to get there, and then it was the 15th, 100th, or 120th time. And then even Wayne Gretzky, how much did he have to practice over and over again? Not to be Canadian, bringing up a Canadian role model, but
that's okay. See, I'm wearing my Canadian flag. That's good.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you found that all these challenges were opportunities, and obviously it's your mindset and what you did. What are other things that helped you overcome with all these life experiences?
I think there's a misconception that we have to do things alone and by ourselves. It's impossible. There is no way that you have the education, the experience, and the environment to overcome these huge challenges all by yourself. You have to ask for help. You have to go to people, and the people that are coming into your life are probably there for a reason, and they're there to help you. And I remember the first time I was diagnosed, okay, I can't get through this by myself. I went through a weekend, and it was a weekend of dark clouds saying, oh my God, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Yeah. But then I realized, you know what? If I ask somebody who's gone through this before, then they might be able to show me what they did. And then somebody else can show me what they did, and so on and so forth. I can't be an award-winning real estate agent without asking for help. I'm not a decorator. I'm not a building inspector. I'm not a building contractor. I'm not a well expert, but I know the experts who are. And so that's how you get through these challenging times, is with help and with somebody else getting your back, or a whole team getting your back. And that's how I got through my cancers, the death of my first husband, the second cancers, the changes from like a high-tech career to a people career, is with people and asking for help.
That's wonderful.
One of my biggest tips is getting help.
Yeah, and I think it's something that Janet and I talked about last week. In the previous week, Emila talked about community, right? Like we are pouring into each other and not just thinking about ourselves. And then we reach out for that help in that community. Then it's not just you looking after yourself, it's everybody else as well. And that's such a beautiful, Emila's the one that really, like, oh, that's beautiful. Because part of the show is not to feel like, the whole thing is not to feel alone, and that there you have that. And I'm like, I'm changing that not alone to feeling of like hope and community, because that's really, that's what helps me whenever I'm like at my worst, or if I have a panic attack and my brain just decides to shut down, is I reach out for my partner. If he's not there, I reach out for my ex-husband, and I reach out to my parents, or whoever else. And if there's nobody there, it's the distress line. So yeah, it's just a matter of reaching out, and then somebody's there to hold your hand or help you guide through it, and till you come back to wherever you can to your own resolve. So for sure.
That's right. They bring you down and they ground you, right? And they say,
the word for it, yeah.
Yes. They bring you back to ground you and to realize that, okay, wait a minute, it's not the end of the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Deep breaths. And you know what? Something else I found is a good night's sleep.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yes. 100%. 100%. That is one of the, whenever somebody asks me what I do, I'm like, I can speak to you as a peer, but nutrition, sleep, and exercise.
Yeah.
If I might not practice those things, but I know that when I do practice those things properly, my health is usually at its highest.
That's right. And you're absolutely right. And, starting to say no also.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't have to say yes to everything that comes across our plate.
Yeah.
That made a difference too.
Yeah. It's one that I am personally working on myself, but like, when you have a whole slew of things going on, going, hey, do you want to work together? Do you want to do this? Do you want that? Or like, do you want to be on my podcast? And so I'm like, I got 20 hours of good stuff, good work for me in my body. So I have to prioritize these things, and there'll be, even if you say no, I guarantee a week later, there's going to be somewhere you can say yes. So the biggest fear of, the fear of being without, or like missing an opportunity, there's always going to be another opportunity. Always.
Absolutely. And you got to follow your gut. Know that if you're overloaded, you say no.
Yeah.
Because like you said, another opportunity, a better opportunity is going to come across.
Exactly. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So true, Lana. I love it. So what is one thing that you do daily to help you keep living a healthy lifestyle?
I get up And one of the first things I say to myself, no matter how grumpy I feel, I say, today is a great day. And everything I do, I'm going to do with the confidence of a 4-year-old wearing a Batman t-shirt.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Especially Batman is one of the best superheroes ever. Yeah. I think I have like 4 Batman shirts in my wardrobe. What's that?
Wonder Woman too. I'm a Wonder Woman fan.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have we have a whole suit. We're a bunch of comic book nerds in this family.
Oh.
So if I'm missing a t-shirt, I guarantee that I have to just go over to my daughter's closet and I'll find my t-shirt there. So vice versa, I might steal hers as well.
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Do it with the confidence of a 4-year-old wearing that t-shirt.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Lana, for being on today. I really appreciate the time you took out and, going through the process. And thank you for giving me the learning opportunity of Zoom today. It's a great experience.
Thank you, Laurie. This is fantastic. And I've loved chatting with you too.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. And hopefully we'll have you on the show sometime soon again.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Bye for now.
Bye.